Alright everyone, what is going on and welcome back to today's video. In today's video we're getting into something a little bit different. I haven't done anything like this in a while, and it's just going to be strategies that you guys can use when you are trying to practice your aim on console to hopefully improve your aim and just gain a little bit more experience and better yourself as a shooter. Now before any of the comments come through, yes, I'm Plat 3. If you want diamond tips, champion tips, this isn't the place, but me personally, even if my aim isn't as good as some of these other high rank players, I still think I can pass down tips for you guys to practice your aim and stuff you can do to practice, just generally in terms of all aim trainer on console, which is something I do quite often, and it's just good habits to get into when warming up, when doing all this stuff, just to get this practice in. And even if you're not the best player, such as me, it's still good to do it, and it's still good techniques to get into the hang of, so you can just better yourself as a player in Rainbow Six Siege, which is hopefully why you clicked on this video, I'm assuming. With that said, before we get into this video, make sure to leave a like, drop a sub on the notification bell, and also make sure to come check out my Twitch streams. Links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there. We stream there nearly every day, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you find it useful, and let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously boot up a terrorist hunt. You do get specific experiences from playing casual and ranked if you're interested in getting that sort of experience. Casual and ranked probably teaches more game sense than aim. Aim kind of comes, the best way to practice your aim is in terrorist hunt. You'll hear this from anyone, and especially on console, terrorist hunt is 100% the go-to place where you want to practice your aim. So the first thing you want to do is just pick an operator that you like playing. I feel like practicing with one specific operator is probably going to benefit you more than if you're always switching it up, especially as a starter. Finding that one operator you can rely on is always probably going to be better. And the first thing you're going to want to do is try and work out their recoil pattern. Now, I'm not the best at this, I never have been, but try and find a wall on the map you spawned in on where you can shoot at it. Shoot at it without controlling recoil. Just completely shoot at it, spray at it, just see where the bullets go, like this. So as you can see, all of those bullets, you can see her recoil path is literally just up to the right from where I was standing. So basically all you have to do, aim in and then try and control it. That's my attempt at controlling recoil. It's not the best, I know. It's not bloody champion recoil control, but it's decent. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Terrorists are probably about to jump me. Yep, there we go. Just make sure he doesn't kill me. So that is the best way to find your recoil control. Now, if you want more of a challenge, recoil obviously gets harder the further away you get. So as you can see, the recoil here is still down to the right. So just try and control that at a further distance. You may have to pull down more. Just try and work with it until you can get that type of hole, but far away. So as you can see, it's a bit all over the place. So that means just try again. I completely lost that one and it went up a little bit. The recoil control might be different at a longer range. Let's check. Okay, yeah, it definitely is. So as you can see, her recoil goes in and out. So maybe try working with that. It was a bit more concise that time, but anyway, I don't want to spend too long on this, but essentially this is the best way to teach yourself how to control a gun's recoil. Now, recoil isn't really the most important thing. You can say that crosshair placement is more important, because technically, say that terrorist's head was the person I'm trying to kill. Recoil control is, if you're aiming here, then yeah, your recoil control is going to matter. But if you're aiming here, really, you hit those first two shots, dead. He's not getting up. Unless the game doesn't register your headshot, then you can rage and call security or something, I don't know. But with that said, crosshair placement does play a big part of this. Recoil control is a good thing to learn, but crosshair placement can be a lot more important in terms of like trying to win gunfights. But obviously when you're versing people in online matches, they're not terrorists, they're not dead people on the ground. They're going to be swinging around like this, buddy, mashing their keyboards, not keyboards, controllers, whatever you want to call it. They'll be doing this, buddy, and then they somehow manage to laser you and hit every shot. I don't know how they do it, to be honest, but yeah. So yeah, practice. That's something you do want to practice in casual and ranked. Just working on that crosshair placement. You can do it in terrorist hunt as well, which I'll get into in a second. But in all honesty, this is the best way to just practice recoil control of specific guns. Just load up a terrorist hunt and do this. Now, in terms of something that you can do these are like the aim trainer warm up strategies that I would suggest. So obviously, the first thing you want to do is crosshair placement. As I said, make sure you line up heads. Let the terrorists hit you if they have to, as long as you can line up their heads. That is what you are aiming for. You're working on that crosshair placement. As I said, terrorists are not human enemies. They're not going to move as like difficultly. They're not going to move as like. But still, it's still a good thing to practice against terrorists because it's here for a reason. Terrorist Hunt is here for a reason. They may not have implemented for practice purposes, but it is very good for practice purposes. As you can see, my default ADS, like when I ADS, is at their head level. If I don't hit their head, it's because I'm potatoing like a motherfucker. So this is just a good habit to get into. It's going to help you out a lot in ranked games, and it's a great thing to train your aim. And if you want to practice your recoil control as well, that's something you can also do. You can shoot a little bit after you kill them, even. But make sure you're still hitting those heads, and maybe just stop and just make sure your recoil is all good, and then just keep going. I don't know. But in all honesty, getting your crosshair placement down pat is probably the most important thing you can do as a newer player, because as I said, you hit a headshot, enemy dies. It's as simple as that. As you can see, recoil control is fine there, but my crosshair placement is off. That's what loses you gunfights. Crosshair placement is probably more important than a lot of people like to admit, and that's just something I've always wanted to outline as a content creator. I'm on low ammo, so I'm gonna switch to the pistol real quick. It is very good to learn pistols as well. You'll find that pistols in Terrorist Hunt against pistols against real people is a complete different story. So a lot of people don't really practice pistols in Terrorist Hunt, but it is something that you can teach yourself. I'm incredibly horrible with pistols against real people. That's just me. I don't think it's that bad for actual decent players, but anyway, we're not gonna flame myself any longer. How many bullets do I have left? 2. Let's see if I can hit. There we go. 2 headshots. See, as much as they're dumb terrorists, it's still good to get that recoil control practice. And last dude's here. Let me just end this terrorist hunt real quick. And there you go. I'm pretty sure I hit headshots the whole time. That's a really good thing you can do to train yourself in crosshair placement, which is the first thing I would suggest you do as an aim trainer for console. Alright, so we are back. I have someone with a little bit more recoil, so before I get into it, I'm just going to quickly do what I said before. Find the recoil pattern. It's up. It's basically just up, and then just practice controlling it. Not bad. Good enough for me. Let's move on. So the second thing I'd suggest you do in an aim trainer is you start spraying. You literally start spraying as much as possible. Controlling recoil is obviously important, and if you can just walk around and spray, maybe aim for body even. Yeah, try and aim for body and see if you can still hit all of your shots efficiently. If you hit their head accidentally, hit their head accidentally. This is a good thing to just keep your recoil nice and concise. If you aim for their body, you're eventually, where the fuck did I just see that? You're gonna have to hit specific amount of shots for them to obviously go down. And if you can control your recoil and keep it in their vicinity, that wasn't really recoil control, I should have sprayed, but if you can control the recoil and keep it in their vicinity, it's going to help you control your recoil when you're aiming at the head. Obviously, you don't want to get too used to aiming at the body, it's not really going to teach you anything, but if you can control the recoil off more than a few bullets, it's going to help you out in the long run. I didn't kill that guy apparently. A good thing to also practice while you're in Terrorist Hunt is trying to flick on people. So like when you swing a corner, try and push it aggressively like that, because you're going to find you're doing that more in ranked games than you would think. So pushing these aggressively gives you just the upper hand because you have peeker's advantage, stuff like that. So peeking corners like that with just complete aggression, you may take a little bit of damage, especially in Terrorist Hunt if you walk into a room with like 10 people. But it's gonna try and train you in the whole aspect of just straight up rushing things, and then teaching yourself like the ways to rotate and adapt to a room where you're probably not gonna survive, you know. So as you can see, I tried spraying there as much as possible. I was aiming for heads because it was a big room, while also practicing that swinging technique. This is a great thing to learn, and I would 100% recommend that anyone goes through this, just so you can get experience that you would get in real games, which is the main thing you want to get from Terrorist Hunt. That's what Terrorist Hunt's teaching you, and that's the best thing you can be prepared for. So obviously, I potatoed a little bit there. There's nothing wrong with potatoing. If you mess up, you mess up. Playing aggressive will most likely, like that, get you killed against someone who actually like isn't a terrorist. But it's still good to just get practice in, because it can come in handy. If that makes sense. Okay, so that's going to be tip number 2. I'll quickly get into tip number 3, and then we'll wrap up this video. Alright, so we're in the final terrorist hunt here, and literally all you have to do is just practice. The final thing, and the most basic one that I can give you guys, is just practice. Get into a terrorist hunt, go into wherever you want to go into, and just shoot the enemy. Practice your crosshair placement, practice everything that you individually feel like you need to work on, and you'll probably figure those out as you play, and then you'll learn them, and then just focus on them. That's all you really have to do. For me, it's aim. My aim's all over the place. That's why I picked buck. I don't really use buck. So I'm going to try and practice and hit some decent amount of shots with buck. So that's really all I'm going to do. I'm probably not going to put this whole terrorist hunt because the video will be too long. But I'll quickly wrap up the video right now. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Also make sure to drop a sub with the notification bell if you're interested in more videos from me. And also make sure to come check out my Twitch stream, links in the description down below. I'd love to see you guys there. And with that said, I hope these tips were useful. If they were, let me know. If they weren't, also let me know so I can make better videos. I'll make another aim trainer if you guys request it. And with that said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.